All right, so in this video, we're going to add a custom logo image, and in the newer versions of Underscore, you will get this functionality right away. So you can select a logo or an image that you would like to put in, and you can just select, crop it, and apply. And you'll see it, and now it's just going to look a little weird because we're going to need to apply some functionality to this, and we're going to do some styling as well. So first step is to get your files open. Most of the files you'll have already opened from the last video, function PHP, header PHP, and you're also going to need your header Sass files. So once you have those, maybe take a second and get those open, then we'll be ready to go. So we have our customizer, we put everything up, and we're going to want to first to see how big should this image be. So we're going to go to functions PHP. Here we are. And we're going to scroll, and we're going to look for something that says custom logo. And you can see right now it's 80 by 80 for height and width. And actually we're going to set it at 90. It might be set different for yours, that is the default, but we're just going to put it at 90 for that and save. And we'll see. We want to reload. And you can see there's a little difference in it, and that's because when you go back to your functions, you can see we have an array here, and just like when we did the header, this will be in the customizer, and they'll have a default settings, but you can go through this and decide what you would want and how big you think that the default should be. And then you can also set the flex width and height as true, and that allows the user to give functionality in the customizer to being able to crop the image. So it's a good to just have them both there and let it be. But we're still having some problems with our styling. It's not quite as it should be, so let's go work on that. Super. We're going to go to our header.php, and we're going to add a div around our site header, and we're going to place it right here. And it is going to be div class equals site branding, and then 2 times, and text. Yes. And make sure you close it. And we'll get our end tag, and we're going to drop it down here right below. And make sure you give it a comment so we know exactly what it is, and we'll say site branding text. So we have that. Now if we save, we're going to see nothing happen because we still have to apply the styling. Okay, so you're going to go to your headers.sass file, and you're going to have to open 2 files, 2 things that we've outcommented. One is display flex, and again we're just going to use the flex display, so these 2 items are going to float next to each other. And so once we've allowed those 2 styles to be open, we'll be able to save and go back, and we'll see everything pops up exactly as it is, and you're ready to go. So just a little recap. The most important thing with this is knowing where you can find your custom logo and where you can set the defaults, as well as just applying normal CSS around it. And you do that between the header PHP and through the functions PHP. So those are the 2 pages you're going to really need to know. And just go with the styling. Again, like we said with most of the videos, these are just some sample styling that you're allowed to use over and over again as a good starter point. And then once you have them done once, you can use them in the future to go wild and design things differently. So I hope that worked out for you, and we'll see you in a minute. All right, so now you're looking at our website, and we can see, whoa, Jesse, what's going on here? There's some big changes going on. And they're actually not that big. Right now, if we go here, you can see I added a new logo, and that's simply, if you go to your customizer, and look. As you can see, I added a new logo here, and I just went to my site identity. And now that we know our site title is working and our tagline is working, I personally would like to delete them, so I did. But you always want to test out first that it's completely working, just to make sure if your user wants to have them, that they have the right to have them. So we've taken them away. We put a new logo in, and this is our You Code Girl logo. So I took away the round one because now we know the functionality is quite right. And now you can see, if I go back, that our menu has become very little and looks a lot better than it did before. And that is simply because we added some styling to it. So I'm going to show you how we did that. It's not a lot of coding at all, but we're going to have to make a file or two, and we're just going to have to import one style sheet. So I did it in advance so you'll know how to do it. So the files you're going to need is to have open. If you go back to your favorite editor, is you're going to need a file called header, your SAS header file. You're going to have one, and then you're going to create a new folder, or new file, sorry, and that will be found in your header folder under SOGO Sites header, and then you're going to create a new SAS file called header.menu.sas, and that will be empty. I've already included our code for our header main, but which you can find as a snippet. Actually, we're going to have this snippet of all this code right below this video. But if you go back to your custom header, not your custom header, if you go back to your header, we have all our header information that we've been working on and doing. All we're going to have to do is right here is simply give ourselves a note. We can give a little space underneath and have it say header menu, and just let you know it's there, and you're going to import this style sheet, and you're going to do that in your header as CSS. And then you can go back to your header menu and apply the styling we have as a snippet, and you can just go through this. This is just a good general clean style that you can play with and design. We have some media queries set up, and feel free to change things, play with this. But this is just going to give you a clean, but this works like any styling for a menu normally will. And so once you have those things set up, you can just go back, and ta-da, you have a functioning header and image logo, and for the most part it should be responsive. We will test that out, and it's looking okay. We'll see. And you're ready to get going for the next video. So thanks for today, and we'll see you soon, and you code girl.